What's up, everybody? Robin Warner here, back again with more news. Last week, Porsche revealed the third generation Panamera for the 2024 model year. This replaces the second generation Porsche Panamera that was with us since the 2017 model year, and this new generation follows a very similar path to the recently updated Porsche Cayenne, which put a heavy emphasis on e-hybrid powertrains. To kick off this new generation, two Panameras will be available right away. They'll be coming in the spring of 2024. It will be the base Panamera and the Panamera 4, which is effectively an all-wheel drive version of the base Panamera. Both will be powered by a revised version of the turbocharged 2.9-liter V6, which now makes 348 horsepower and 368 pound-feet of torque. That's a bump of 23 horsepower and 37 pound-feet of torque over the outgoing base Panameras. That will be good for a 5-second flat run to 60 miles an hour from rest in the base Panamera. And if you go with the all-wheel drive Panamera 4, you can knock that down to 4.7 seconds. Top speed of the base Panamera is not too shabby, 169 miles an hour. The Panamera 4 can't quite do that. It's 168 miles an hour instead. This engine is the exact same one that you'll see in the base Porsche Cayenne, same outputs and everything. There is one difference though. This one will come with an 8-speed PDK or dual clutch transmission, whereas the Cayenne gets an 8-speed torque converter automatic. It is a nice increase in power to be sure, but nothing transformational here. And that's true of the styling as well. Now, it does go in the right direction, I think. It does look a little bit more muscular and a bit more sculpted compared to the second generation. But we're talking about little tweaks here, nothing even close to a clean sheet of paper for the looks. And that's true of the size of the car as well. The third generation Panamera is very, very close in size to the second. We're talking about changes by 1/10 of an inch here or there. But Porsche now offers an optional suspension system that is definitely worth talking about. It's called Porsche Active Ride, and it incorporates adjustable shock absorbers that are connected to each other via an electrically driven hydraulic pump. And it's computer controlled to actively counter the forces that a car feels while it's accelerating, braking, and turning. Moreover, that's paired to single chamber air springs, which gives Porsche a huge amount of flexibility to control how the Panamera rides and handles. According to Porsche, this system is powerful enough to overcome the inherent movements that you feel in a suspension while you're accelerating, braking, and turning. So it will lean forward as it accelerates, lean back when it brakes, and it will actually lean into the corner instead of leaning away from it as you turn in. And that's not even all. Porsche will continue to offer rear axle steering as an option as well. So put all that together, and this car really will be able to defy its overall size and its weight when it comes to how the car rides and handles. And that's thanks to some advanced technology that they're putting in their sedan. The only other place that I've seen similar systems off the top of my head is McLaren. And I got to try that in the McLaren 720S, and that was incredibly impressive. But as I said, all that stuff is optional. It's probably not cheap either. But standard equipment on the Porsche will include Porsche Active Suspension Management, or PASM, which is Porsche's name for adaptive shock absorbers. Now, these are not connected to each other physically like that other system I just described, but they are adaptive and do provide a lot of adjustability and, can make for a decent ride and good handling. By the way, the fact that PASM is standard is also similar to the updated Cayenne. But back to powertrains, as Porsche plans to offer 4 different e-hybrid powertrains for the Panamera. And the first one is pretty darn good, the Turbo e-hybrid. That one combines a twin turbocharged 4-liter V8 with an electric motor and a 25.9 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and it will deliver 670 combined system horsepower and 685 pound-feet of torque. That also gets the 8-speed PDK transmission, which will be really good for things like launch control. Speaking of, Porsche claims that this full-size sedan will be able to reach 60 miles an hour in 3 seconds flat, and if you keep your foot in it, hit 195 miles an hour. Now, for yet another Cayenne to Panamera comparison, this is actually less horsepower and torque than the Cayenne Turbo E Hybrid, but because it's a sedan and not an SUV, the Panamera is quicker and faster. The Cayenne Turbo E Hybrid needs 3.5 seconds to reach 60 miles an hour and will only reach 183 miles an hour. The Turbo E Hybrid will also get unique front and rear fascias compared to the standard Panamera, and a couple other bits and bobs to make it stand out stylistically. A while ago, I did get a chance to review a second generation Porsche Panamera 4S E Hybrid, and that thing was a rocket ship. It was incredibly quick, incredibly quiet, and pretty darn fuel efficient as well. And this new Panamera will have well more than 100 horsepower more than that one. Whew. Now, Porsche was pretty light about the details of the interior of the third generation Panamera, but based on what I've been doing so far this video, I bet you can guess, yes, I think it'll be very similar to the updated Porsche Cayenne, and the Cayenne has a 12.6-inch fully digital instrument cluster, a 12.3-inch center console touchscreen, and it does also offer a 10.9-inch passenger side digital screen, which will give performance data. Now, Porsche did say that the new Panamera will offer that passenger side screen, but it didn't specify the screen sizes for the other two. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the same. As I mentioned at the top, the new Panameras will be here spring of 2024, and the base Panamera will be more than $100,000, $101,550. If you want to get all-wheel drive instead in a Panamera 4, you're looking at an extra $7,000 for that. And Porsche did not yet reveal the price or the exact availability of the Turbo E Hybrid Panamera, but I do know that the updated Porsche Cayenne Turbo E Hybrid costs right around $150,000, and the Panamera is going to be more expensive. I'm guessing we're looking at right around $175,000 for the Turbo E Hybrid. So no, definitely not cheap. But when I do learn the availability and price, I will definitely share. And I'm thinking that it won't be too long before Porsche starts to reveal more trims and more powertrains, the other 3 e-hybrid powertrains, for example. And I'll be sure to share that stuff as soon as I learn as well. And as I bet you can imagine, I'm definitely excited to review and drive this new Panamera as soon as I can. But that is it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Launch control activated. Lifting off the brake. Oh man! Oh man! In a plug-in hybrid! Whoa! Nice! Now that was an unexpected treat to have in a plug-in hybrid vehicle.